the train comes. You don't need no baggage, you just get on board. All right, folks. Excuse me. It is Nichols Live, and I am Larry Nichols. Let me get some business out of the way. The listen-in line is 401-283-6754. That's 401-283-6754. And then when you get there, you press 1. Now, you can also go to leadingedgeradio.com. That's leading, like leading a horse around, leadingedgeradio.com. If you want to call in and be a part of the program, it's 501-499-6022. And if you would like to send a text, the text number is 440-897-0611. All right, Alden, just to ask if you're out there trying to call in, don't call in for a while, please. Stuff I need to get out. So please hold your calls. If I sound like I'm mad, it's because I'm mad. I am mad. A couple of things were brought to my attention today that just absolutely set me on fire. The first one I'll deal with has to do with Twin Falls, Idaho. Many of you out there, I figure, have heard about the 5-year-old little girl who had mental issues, who was attacked by 3 Muslims. Now, one was 7, one was 10, and one was 14, as I understand. I might have those ages a little wrong. They ripped her clothes off of her, and then they urinated on her clothes and in her mouth, and took a picture of it, videoed it while they were doing it. As heinous as that is, as horrible as that is, it's made worse. Loretta Lynch, a black attorney general who works for our black, worthless, Muslim, scum-of-the-earth president, Obama, went to that place. Well, she had one of her assistant prosecuting attorneys go to that place and tell the people there, and I suppose everywhere, that if they talked about it, they would prosecute. Now, the story was that it was 3 Syrian kids that accosted this little girl. Well, as it turns out, they were real coy with what they said. That story's not wrong. Or that story's not right. It's wrong. Making it out like everybody in alternative media made it up. But then what they ended up saying was, this is just a rumored story because they were not Syrian refugees. Then they said they were born outside of this country, but they were not Syrian refugees. Well, turns out they were Muslim. One from Iraq, and 2 were Sudanese, Sudan. Now I say this to Loretta Lynch. You listen to me, woman. Listen to me. And I'm sure there are people going to send this straight to you before it even gets out of my mouth. But you want to prosecute somebody for telling the truth, then come on and get you some of me. Don't you dare, ever ever threaten me or anyone I know, any American, about what we can say or can't say. Don't you even think about it. Now, that's bad. That's bad. Then I get another story. Get another story this morning. There was a guy that worked for the Department of Homeland Security, testified before Senate hearing. And this guy tells a tale that is sickening. I mean, really, really sickening. He tells a story of the fact that all of these official reports put out by the Department of Homeland Security, how many times the original report mentions the word terrorist, jihad, fundamentalist Islam, radical Islam. It's all throughout the text of these reports. When it finally showed up, all references were gone. It had been redacted. All references to those words had been redacted. So I guess, according to this administration, if you don't use those words, then it don't exist, right? Folks, listen to me. Listen. I've lived with them, thought with them, fought against them. I know Muslims. And they are scum of the earth. They're trash. Anyone that follows a religion that would allow for Sharia law and all of the evil stuff that Sharia law permits, and what it permits against women, is trash. It's trash. And then when you take Sharia law and really look at it, and it has mercy killings. What is a mercy killing? See, we hear that word mercy killing. Sounds like old Dr. Kevorkian, don't it? You know, somebody dying, painful. I can relate to that. Cancer. Yeah, I can relate to that. It ain't going to get no better. It's never going to get better. Why not let that person have mercy on that person and let them just go to sleep? That's a mercy killing, so we think. A mercy killing under Islam, folks. A mercy killing under Islam is if somebody's daughter is caught dating an infidel. Someone whose daughter is caught wearing, let's say, I'm making this up about what, but like makeup. Maybe she's wearing makeup and the father don't allow it. Under Sharia law, he's allowed to kill her. Hey, how about Sharia law? If you're an infidel and a mohair don't like you, he can cut your head off. Huh? Hey, like that. That's a good one, isn't it? Or maybe it's better to say Sharia law. Sharia law, if you're an infidel, which is us, a Christian, and some low-life scumbag Muslim comes up and says you need to convert to Islam, and you say no thank you, then they, under Sharia law, under their Bible, the Quran, they're obligated to cut her head off. And when you think, Larry, you're going a little bit overboard, I want you to think about this. I want every one of you to think about this now. You think about it. I want you to look. I want you to look at your grandchildren if they're there with you, or pick up a picture of your grandbabies. Look at it. Are you looking at your grandbabies? You're all just sitting there. Look at a picture of your children or your grandchildren. Look at it now. And know that under Sharia law in Islam, some Muslim has a right to cut their heads off. And what would you call people that follow that thinking? What would y'all call it? I call it filth. I call it trash. I call it scum. And bigger than all of that, I call Islam an enemy of Jesus Christ, the true God that I follow. If there's any justice on this earth for the Muslims, it's the fact that when they die, they will spend all eternity in hell. At the rate we're going, they may end up reigning supreme on this earth, but they will not beyond the limits of this earth. They won't reign supreme. They'll all be burning in a big old lake of fire. So if you think I've been too hard on Muslims, you just remember, look at that picture, or look at your grandchildren, or look at your children. Just look at it. And I want you to imagine what that picture would look like with their heads chopped off. And then what you're going to feel like when that happens. Now, the problem we all have is we can't think about an evil thought like that. We just can't think about it. It's too hard. It hurts too bad to even think about that. Yet, they've done it to others. They've done it to Christians. Throughout the years, they've done it to Christians. But it just wasn't our family. I would suppose, I don't know, maybe there's somebody in this audience that had it happen to them. So, you know, I'm mad. I'm mad as hell. It infuriates me when I hear again that Loretta Lynch threatening anybody that dare talk bad about Islam or Mexicans or any other immigrant, illegal or whatever. She's just chomping at the bit to try to come up with a way that she can prosecute us for hate speech. Let me tell you, if she's got to prosecute somebody for hate speech, let it be me. Let it be me. And the only defense that I will use if prosecuted under hate speech is that I live in America still, this day, still. It's not many more days, but still, this day, I have a right to speak. My constitutional right to speak, First Amendment. And then I think about Orlando, Santa Barbara, Twin Falls, Idaho. The same phenomenon takes place in all of them. Do you know what that is? Do you know what that is? Same one. Same thing happens. This horrible crime takes place in these communities, and law enforcement stands back, and in rides the federal government, the FBI. Now, I swear to you, that one is just about too much for a man to bear. If you have 1 ounce of Americanism in your body, that is just about too much to bear. The federal government has no right to come into Twin Falls, Idaho, and tell people to shut up and not talk about this heinous crime committed there. Or, big old Loretta Lynch, she's going to prosecute you. Or like they did in Orlando, and like they did in Santa Barbara, the police, when they were investigating the shooters, they go to their apartment, the local police stand back and wait for the FBI to come in and ransack their apartments or homes. And in Santa Barbara, when the FBI got through, they left the door wide open. Then the media and everybody went running into that apartment. Do you know why that happened? You see, after the feds got through in that apartment, when they left that door open, they knew that anything found in that apartment after they left, guess what? Would not be able to be used in court because it'd be contaminated. Now, there's 2 laws by which that falls under. It's either under misfeasance or malfeasance. Either it was a mistake that they left that door open and contaminated any other evidence left in there, or it was malfeasance, which means they did it on purpose, maliciously. If y'all don't believe we're burning out of control, if you don't believe it, you don't have eyes. And if it doesn't hurt you to see America and everything America has always represented since the day it was born being shredded and discarded and thrown away like trash, if that doesn't hurt you to the bone, you don't have a heart. You don't have a heart. Well, it's time for a commercial. Yesterday, 2 people gave. Support me, help me, 2. We had well over 7,000 people that listened. Larry, is it just greed for you that you're upset that just 2 people sent in $25? Thanks to 1 person, I was able to get the treatment. But from the program, we got in $25. I'll be the first to tell you, I hate that I have to ask. I do hate it so. I hate it. But I, like you, I'm just trying to stay here long enough to do my part to stop Hillary from being president, because you think it's bad now. It ain't nothing to what it's going to be. Nothing. If you're out there, if you're listening to me right now, would you please go to PayPal? PayPal, when you get there, go to Nichols Live at AOL.com. Nichols Live at AOL.com. And if nothing else, just send $1. Just $1. $5, $10. Please. Help me do it. Please. The only reason you're doing this is just to help me. $1, $5, $10. Don't let me see another day of 7,000 plus people and 2 people chip in to help. And it's not about the money. What scares me is that people can't send $1 or $5. What makes me believe that we'll have people willing to get on the phone and fight and do what we've got to do to save this country. You know, guys, it's awful easy to listen. But hearing and listening, and you can listen to all of the conservative programming you want to. You can listen to all of the alternative stuff you can listen to. You can feel your ears plumb up to the top of your head. But if you will not engage, then you ain't worth it. It's not worth it. If you're not going to engage, if you're not going to join in this battle, if you're not, then don't waste your time. Don't get all worked up. Don't listen to all this stuff. Engage. That's what this is about. That's what this program's about. Training you up, getting you fit, getting you able to act and save this country. For without you, I told you yesterday, this is the vanguard. This is the first line of defense. Without you, we've got nothing. And I don't know why, but I keep going back to the story of Gideon. When he was so proud and told God he had all these soldiers. God said, take them to them. I'm screwing up the story, but I'll give it to you my way. God said, take them down to the creek, and those that stick their face in the water and drink like a dog or a horse, send them home. Those that get it in their hand and drink it like people, keep them. Well, that whittled his army down to 300. And God said that'd be enough. And more than he said that would be enough, he proved it was enough. Susan, thank you. And Simon, thank you. We got 150 right there. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you. I mean it. I'm getting some other message here. Hold on. I got this from Greg. Many, other than the faithful 18, simply want to have their ears tickled. Just like when a worthless shepherd of a church who sells out his congregation for the money, for the tithe money. That's right. How do we stop it? How do we stop the spiral that we're in going down? That we're out of time? How do we stop it? Simple. Simple. The first thing all of us must do, including me, and it's so easy to get caught up in this, but you have to have discipline. You hear me? Somebody's calling. Greg, that's you calling. I don't understand why Greg's calling. Thank you, Alden. Alden sent 50. Discipline. It's hard. But if you want to stop this right now, dead in its tracks, do you know what you got to do first? Can y'all get a pencil and paper? Please write this down, because I expect you to share this with people. I do. The first step in saving this country, beyond that of getting on our knees and going to God, first step is this. Forget Washington, D.C. Forget it. Washington, D.C. is gone. All right? I can't say it any other way. It's gone. It's over. It's finished. It's done. I told someone earlier today, we can no more change Washington, D.C. than we could go to the devil and get the devil to himself to change his ways. That's how far gone it is. Number two, just like we're doing with Islam, which is killing us right now, you know, Obama, we can't win a war when we don't know who the enemy is. You understand that? You can't win a war if you won't define the enemy. That's why we're getting whooped by ISIS and Al Qaeda. And by the way, anybody else that just wants to come and take a piece of us. You got to identify the enemy. So number one, forget Washington. We can't change it. Number two, no. The enemy of freedom in America today, the greatest enemy we have, is Washington, D.C. And all of those creeps that run around there, from senators, congressmen, their staffers, department heads. Now, I'm not going to say all of the employees in these different departments because they're just good people, most of them. But the department heads are in on the system. They're in the system. They're knee deep. Forget it. But no, they're the enemy. They're the true enemy. You may not understand it, but I wish you could. Do you understand? ISIS can't come get us. Al Qaeda can't come get us. They can't kill us unless our federal government lets them do it. Our federal government's letting them in. Not only are they letting them in, they're inviting them in. We can't save or fix our economy. We can't save or fix our economy because Washington, our federal government, is fighting to destroy our industries and to ship all of that to other countries, whichever country pays them the most personally money. Do y'all get how easy it is to figure this out? I mean, I ain't no rocket scientist. I don't even have to do any real heavy ciphering to figure this out. We're not going to change Washington, so forget it. And then when you start trying to define the enemy, you better figure out where the real enemy is, and it's Washington, D.C. And by the way, this is no new thing. Any of you that have been in the military, when you took your oath, when you took your oath to serve, there's a catchy little phrase in that oath. You swear to protect the Constitution of the United States from all enemies, both foreign and what? Domestic. Why in the hell do you think they put that in there? Why? If whoever wrote that wasn't keenly aware that there might be a day when we would get to exactly where we are, they wouldn't have put that in there. Two things. We can't change Washington, and know that they are the enemy. Well, if you know those two things, then Larry, how in hell do we stop it? You have the key, every one of you. Every one of you have the key to saving our country, every one of you. Get hold of your state representative and your state senator. People that are a part of your community, that have to look you in the eye every day. And inform them that we need to get back to the government, form of government, the country that we were meant to be and set up to be. And that all true power is held not in Washington, D.C. The true power is not held in Washington, D.C. It is held in each and every individual state. And they just need to know. They just need to know that, you know what? The federal government can't come into your state, into your county, into your city, unless somebody at your state, somebody at your county, or somebody at your city level doesn't accede and let them in. And you by God ought to be passing laws at the state level saying, no thanks. We'll tend and protect ourselves. That's what you should be doing. Now, Alden, I want you to get a tune ready to play. And folks, we're coming up on the second commercial. But instead of me doing a commercial begging, like some bum on the side of the road for you to help, I'm going to let Alden play one of my songs. And during that period of time, you need to remember this. Remember this. This is what it's going to sound like when I'm gone. I won't be here. For the greatest battle this nation is facing in its history. Without help, I ain't going to be here. So this is what it'll sound like. Alden, play it, buddy. Okay. Alden was supposed to play it. Alden, are you there? It doesn't matter. Just pick one.
I was in the land of cotton.
All right.
Old times there are not forgotten. Look away. Look away, look away, Dixieland, Dixieland, where I was born. Oh, early on a frosty morning. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. Hush, little baby, don't you cry. You know your daddy bound to die. Oh, my trials, Lord, soon be over. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on. this truth is marching on.
All right, there you go. That's me, not here. That is me, not here. Now, I was asked earlier to give the call-in number again. The call-in number is 501-499-6022. 501-499-6022. And so that we know, we've got 1, 2, 3 people. 3 people have helped today. 3. Actually 4. Mary sent it another way. It didn't come in on PayPal, I think. I mean, does it bother y'all? Does it bother any of you that we have an attorney general that dares to tell us what we can or cannot say for fear of prosecution? You may not remember it, but I've taught you. Remember, our founding fathers gave us an arsenal with 3 weapons to save our country. 3. Our voices collectively, and our vote. Remember that? Well, you've seen just in the primary season thus far that for many, many years our vote has been tricked. Our vote don't count. We say it don't count, but it does count. No, it don't count. Everybody goes running to vote in the primary. But like you have found when you go to the Republican primary, guess what? You go vote, and then you know what happens? Delegates go to the convention and pick who's going to be the nominee, not your vote. Democrats, they got this thing called super delegates. Who are super delegates? Super delegates are basically all existing establishment politicians. And their vote, going one way or the other, determines who's going to be the Democratic nominee. So if you know what I do, you know that your vote don't count, because we don't get to pick somebody to run. We get to pick always the lesser of 2 evils. So they give us 2 choices and how they're going to kill us. But both of them are killing us. So they give us a choice between shooting us or hanging us, and we get to pick one. Well, that ain't a big choice. But then, if fixing our votes and who we can vote for isn't bad enough, then they turn around and tell us what we can and can't say. There goes our voice. There goes our voice, because they'll prosecute me. There go our voices, because everybody will be afraid to talk. So they're hitting us right where it hurts, folks. They know what they're doing. They're hitting us right where it hurts. They're stripping us of any power that we might have. And then I want you to understand. I wish you would spread the word. Spread it right, but spread the word. This is the last election these United States of America are going to have. This is it. Now, will there be quote unquote elections? I'm just going to tell you what I've said all along. They have elections, so to speak, in Russia. They have elections, so to speak, in Cuba. But it's not, those elections are not the way our elections are supposed to be. This is it. Do you realize November the 15th or whatever day the election is in November? Maybe it's 15th. I don't know. I'm going to say the 15th. November the 15th. Do y'all realize that day is the end of our way of life? That day. Now that sounds awfully bad and serious, and you say, well, that can't be true. I'm sorry, it is. That day, our way of life ends. Because unless we can get together, you and I, unless our vanguard can get built up and everybody engage, then it is most probable that Hillary Rodham, Satan worshiping Hillary, will be the president. And when that happens, your country's gone. I got this from Joe. He said it's November 3rd. Okay, November 3rd, this country is toast. Toast. Our way of life, gone. Gone. And then just to kind of kiss it and shove it into high gear when it's closed out. The 15th of November or the 16th of November, that is when Obamacare kicks in full tilt. And whatever money you got now, a big chunk of it's going to be gone. If you want to know about health coverage for you when we get past that date, look at me and see what you got to do. Call in numbers 501-499-6022. Now, there's a gentleman, I'm going to call him a gentleman, shouldn't, but I am, that sent to my Facebook page, I am told. Well, let me back up. There was a preacher, somewhere, I don't even know where now. There was a preacher that preached against the LBDCDG thing, the queer deal, where all of them, they're all mixed in together. This preacher stood up at the podium, as he should have, and he preached against it. And people got up and walked out of that church. Now I say good riddance. Good. Get them out of there. They're poison. Sodomy ain't right. God don't like it. They get up and walk out. Because of the opinion I put relative to that issue, a man sends me a thing, basically claims that I'm ignorant. He says they were born that way. Born that way. Well, to that man, that I will refer to him as a gentleman for the last time, let me tell you something, buddy. My God does not make mistakes. And what you're saying is the last person to see that baby before it comes into this world is God. And God don't like sodomy. Made that quite clear in Sodom and Gomorrah. So you're going to tell me he's going to create a baby to bring into this world that's that away? No, he don't do that. God don't make no mistakes. It's something that when they get on this side, when they get in our world, for a myriad of reasons, It's a personal decision. So, guy, whoever you are, I applaud the preacher. I say bye to the people that walked out of the church. I am 100% against political correctness as it relates to sodomy and queers, as it relates to Mexicans, Muslims, all of them. I reject it. All of it. And Mr. Dingy, I reject you. And I just can't tell you over there what I would call you to your face. You sick creep bastard. All right. Now, is anybody calling? Don't even have anybody hitting PayPal. Don't have anybody calling in. I guess I ain't done very good today. I don't mean to offend y'all. We are in for a hard battle. Very hard. And we're going to have to have a sense of purpose and a sense of direction, unlike people have had in a long time. If you can truly believe that November the 3rd, the next day, this country will be one of two things. It will either be headed back in the right direction towards the kind of country we were meant to be, or our way of life will be over. Now, if you can believe that, understand it, then you will engage. You will join with us right here and be the soldier that you got to be. You will. But it's going to be a hard battle. We're going to be called names. We're going to get it all. But we are going to prove once and for all that we are Americans. And let me make one thing clear to our black Loretta Lynch, supposed Attorney General. Let me tell you one thing, lady. A Mexican, a Muslim, a poodle, I don't know what all kinds of nationalities, they come here and play by the rules and follow the rules to become an American, then they are as much an American as I am. But anybody that comes here illegally or tricks it, with some kind of visa thing, and they come here not to assimilate and to become an American, but to bring their trash-ass country into here. I don't want you. I don't want them. And if that makes me a Muslim phobe, then I'm a Muslim phobe. If it makes me a Latina phobe, I'm a Latina phobe. Or whatever phobe. Caller, are you there?
Is it me, Larry?
It's you, buddy. Hey, Joe.
Hey, Larry. I'm going to tell you something about Islam. It's not a religion. It's an ideology that is masquerading as a religion.
I would agree with that 100%.
And to the man that talked to you about the LGBT, all that stuff, if these people are born with that, let me read you from what God says about it.
All right.
The Apostle Paul says in 1 Corinthians chapter 6, He says, on the contrary, you yourselves wrong and defraud. You do this even to your brethren. Or do you not know that the unrighteous will not inherit the kingdom of God? Do not be deceived, neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor homosexuals, nor thieves, nor covetous, drunkards, revelers, swindlers will inherit the kingdom of God. And God, when you made the statement that God didn't make any junk, God, those people, they take this, that is their choice. They're not born that way. God doesn't make them that way. You can go to Jeremiah, and I've quoted you this scripture before, but Jeremiah, God told Jeremiah that he knew him before he was even in the womb or in the belly of his mother.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes to show right there that God knows who you are before you're ever conceived. And he didn't make you that way.
Thank you for that, Joe, because I'm glad you found that and said that.
Well, thank you, Larry. And I wanted to call in and say that, and I'm keeping it short. So, love you, brothers.
You too, man. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So there you go. And I'm telling you guys about the Bible. I mean, you can look at it any way you want to, but everything that's in the Bible, King James Bible, I have learned over some 65 years that it is either whatever was prophesied has already happened, is happening, or I guarantee it will happen. That's all we got to do is go back to the book, y'all. Read the rule book. Read the rule book. Now, we got a 7-minute warning. Somebody else want to call in? Where you at? Greg, how many people are listening? Numbers. How many, buddy? Not right now. How many? Gregory? Now, folks, listen to me. Today is a call to battle. It is. I'm mad. I'm sorry I'm mad. I get mad when people, Dixie sent in, thank you, Dixie, bless your heart. I get mad when people strip down this country like Lynch is doing. And I really get mad when that big old big Washington bunch come down to a town like Twin Falls and threaten them. My God, do you understand, folks, what that means? Here is our federal government coming into the town of Twin Falls, Idaho, and threatening them. We're not yet Nazi Germany. We are not yet Nazi Germany. Don't come threatening me. And although I do not know anyone in Twin Falls, Idaho, I will stand up for Twin Falls, Idaho, just like I would stand up for my family. And I think most of you will as well. But you see, here's the problem with accession. Do you hear me? Accession is when you just relinquish your power. They don't earn it. They don't win it. You just relinquish it. You just give it up. The problem with you just giving up your power is you lose. You lose. We don't have to give it up. We don't. And folks, we can stand upright. We can stand straight up with pride and say we are Americans. Can't we? Can't we still say that? We are Americans. And you're not going to treat our fellow Americans like we're some kind of trash on the side of the road. While at the same time, you're taking people that are coming into this country either illegally or somehow tricking it with a visa. You're treating them as some kind of privileged society over us. It ain't happening. Caller, go ahead. We're almost out of time.
Hi, Larry. Hey, I really enjoy your show. I like you when you're angry and mad. It shows the true character that you really have. And I think it's wonderful. You know, I'm fired up listening to you. I listen to you almost every day. And I got to tell you, I love it when people speak the truth like you speak it. And I just wanted to ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
On the step 1 and step 2, you later said the key thing was to spread the word.
Mm-hmm.
And as a part of your battalion, how do you want me to spread the word? I call my friends, write letters, you know, what do you want me to do?
Well, I'm glad you asked that because it's very important. Now listen to me, all of you. This is a terrific question. I should have dealt with it and I didn't. As of this day, I want all of y'all talking to everyone you can get your hands on and say, did you hear what they did in Twin Falls, Idaho? Number one, there were three people. I'm going to call them people. They were kids technically, but let's call them people. 2 from Sudan, 1 from Iraq. Muslims that tore the clothes off, accosted a 5-year-old mentally challenged little girl and urinated on her and in her mouth. And when people started talking about it, did you know that Loretta Lynch, now I wouldn't say what I always call her, that black, anyway, I'm not Muslim Loretta Lynch, but you don't say that. Just say Loretta Lynch, Attorney General, sent one of her assistants to that town or that community and told them if they breathed the word about it, they'd be prosecuted.
Right.
Now, by God.
Do you think she'd have said that if those were 3 white kids that did it? Or 3, American Hispanics or blacks or anything like that? Do you think she'd have said that kind of thing?
No, wouldn't have said it if it were 3 white kids, 3 black kids. Now, if it was wetbacks, yeah, they'd have probably said it for them. I didn't mean to offend wetbacks by saying wetbacks, but I mean wetbacks. I mean Mexicans. And by the way, if you're from El Salvador, Guatemala, Nicaragua, you're Mexican to me.
Sure. Yeah.
But no, you're right.
This is what I don't understand, Larry. The Constitution, like you said, they're supposed to protect the Constitution, both foreign and domestic. But they seem to ignore the Constitution when it comes to things like this, like free speech, to get the truth out. But yet, they'll come after you for all kinds of other things. It's all the things in Washington, D.C. in terms of where they just come after people for all kinds of reasons. And,
you're exactly right.
What's confusing on this thing is they just really aren't protecting the Constitution anymore.
No. See, we've exceeded the Constitution. We give up on it. Listen, we've got to run, my bud. I'm sorry, we're out of time.
Thank you so much, Larry. God bless.
You too. Thank you. All right, folks. 4 people have gone to PayPal today. 4. Please, if you can. I need it within an hour.
Where's the rainbow?
Good Lord willing, creek don't rise, Loretta Lynch don't come get me. I'll see you tomorrow.
There's a land that I've heard of, one in a lullaby.